Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hi everyone, welcome to our intermediate class for the knee. So this class is aimed for people who start to see somewhat of an improvement in their symptoms and looking to further that progress. So obviously the aim of the class today will be to looking to strengthen the knee, provide stability in the actual knee itself, but the structures around it as well. So here in front of you will be a list of equipment you'll need for this class. Please have a quick read through this before we move on to our warm-up. Okay, so I'm going to start with a bit of a warm-up now, just get the body ready for the class. So I'm going to start out with a nice gentle march, just very steady on the spot. So looking to drive them knees up, get them arms moving, make sure we're swinging the arms as well. Make sure we're taking nice deep breaths while we're working through the exercise. So kind of the aim of the warm-up here is to raise the heart rate, activate the muscles that we're looking to work, mobilise the joints, and then potentiate, which to make the exercise we're doing a little bit more difficult and progress into the actual class itself. So keep yourself stood nice and upright, nice deep breaths. Keep driving them knees up, don't let them fall down. So as the heart rate begins to pick up, we'll actually increase muscle temperature as well, which improves muscular flexibility. All things that are good to help us perform and to prevent any kind of injury or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to progress this march into a nice steady jog. Just keeping it on the spot. Again, don't forget about your breathing. Nice deep breath throughout. Nice and light on the toes. If you want to swing the arms a little bit as well. That's it, a little bit longer. Again, just kind of jogging at a comfortable pace, nothing too serious for you. Okay, I'm going to move on to the joint mobilisation for the hips, the lower back, and the pelvis. So we're just drawing these nice big circles as far as we can. Keep the hands on the hips to guide. And then we're going to change direction and the exact same thing going the opposite way. Again, nice deep breaths. Really feel that kind of stretch through the muscles as you push in each different direction. Okay, and then just on one leg at a time, just as far as you're comfortable with, just swing that leg in forwards and in front behind you. Focus on one point in front of you, or pop your arms out just to help you balance a little bit. And again, you can progress it just by swinging a little bit further. So you're just looking to feel that stretch in that hip, and activate the glutes as well. Also activate through the leg where we're just keeping a little bit of balance. Okay, and then the exact same thing on the other side. Again, pick one spot in front of you, get the arms out, and just swing that leg. If you do need to put your foot back down to gauge your balance, that's fine. Good stuff. Okay, and then we're just going to start to bring it up the body a little bit into the shoulders. And we're just going to draw these nice big circles with the hands. Again, progress it yourself, kind of as far as you want to go, as far as feels comfortable for you. If that's just a small circle down here, that's fine. If we can we bring them up into a nice big circle, forwards and backwards, and just keep going. Helps to stretch out the chest, the upper back, even working into the neck a little bit as well. Again, a good warm-up kind of focus targets the whole body rather than just certain structures. Good. Make sure we are changing directions. Good stuff. And then we're going to move on to mobilise the actual spine itself. So various different movements for the spine. So we're going to start with feet nice and close together. Again, nice deep breaths while we work through these. Popping our hands on the front of our thighs and just sliding down as far as we can. When you reach that point, very slowly return to your starting position and repeat. So 5 of these. Again, make sure we are just in a comfortable range. So if that's only to your knees and back up, that's perfectly fine. It's just as far as you can go. Okie doke. And once we've done 5, the exact same thing, hands round on the back, just below the glutes. And we're just going to slide down towards the back of the knees. Again, you won't get anywhere near as far as you will going forwards. And again, it's just as comfortable as you can, kind of in terms of distance. So 5. Once you've done your 5, hands round onto the sides, kind of where your pockets should be. Maybe open up your feet a little bit wider for this one. And stand up nice and straight, and you're just going to slide one hand at a time down towards the knee to side flex the spine. And the exact same thing going in the other direction. Good. Again, nice deep breathing as we work through. So to each side is 1 rep, so you do 10 in total. Good, last one. Then you're going to, again, feet still in kind of position, arms out in front of you, and you're going to rotate to look over one shoulder, and then rotate the other way. Again, each side being 1 rep, 5 of these. So again, 10 in total. Keep counting your head. Make sure you keep the hips facing forwards, so we're just rotating the lower trunk. Okay, then give everything a nice little shake off as we draw towards the end of our warm-up. So we'll move on to the actual class itself now. So here's just a quick reminder of the equipment we'll need for this class. Okay, so this exercise is a banded glute bridge. So you will need a resistance band for this. So I've got the red one here with me. I'm just going to bring myself down onto the floor for our start position. And I want to place that band. So I've got it doubled over so it's nice and tight around the outside of the legs. If you place it around the legs like so. So we want it just around the top of the knees like so. And then lower ourselves nice and flat down onto the ground. So we're always pushing that band out into each other with our hands nice and flat on the floor. So open our feet up a little bit, just provide a bit of a push out into that resistance band. And as we're pushing out, we're just going to lift up off the floor and back down. Good. So repeat for 10 reps, squeezing the glutes as we get to the top. Nice deep breathing as we work up and down really slowly. Try to drop the weight back down to the floor. Try and hold the hips off the ground. And just keep counting in your head up to 10. Good. Again, after 10 reps, lower the weight down into the floor. Let the legs lie nice and flat in front of you. And bring yourself up into a seated position. And just take 20 seconds, let the legs have a little bit of a rest. Get a drink before we move into our second set. Okay, so moving on to our second set. Again, we're going to repeat that band and glute bridge for 10 repetitions. So lowering back down for our start position. Again, open them feet up nice and wide, bring the knees away from each other so you can feel that tightening of the band. And then just before we lift the glutes up off the floor, again, we engage that core, pull them knees out into the band to engage the glutes, and just lift up, squeezing the glutes at the top and lowering back down. Remember, a nice deep breath, really important as we're working through. Keep that movement slow, under control, don't rush through. Squeeze the glutes for probably a second or two as we get to the top. Good. 3 more. Really squeeze them glutes at the top. Make sure we keep driving the hips up. Make sure we're not just going halfway, or as we can. Good. And after that 10th rep, again, lower down into the ground and straighten the legs out in front of you and bring yourself back up. Again, just take 20 seconds for a bit of recovery time. Have a drink before we move on to our final set. Okay, so moving on to our third and final set. Again, make sure that band is just above the knees around the outsides. Again, lowering down onto the ground. Open the knees up as far apart as we can to feel a bit of resistance from the band. And again, driving the hips up off the floor, squeezing the glutes for a couple of seconds, and then slowly lowering back down. Good stuff. Nice deep breathing as we hold these. Give a nice deep breath going. Two more. Good, and the last one, try and hold it for a little bit longer. Really squeeze the glutes. 1, 2, 3, and slowly lower back down. Again, lower the legs out nice and straight in front of you. And just remove that band. And bring yourself back up to your feet. So good, that's the end of that set. Again, take 20 seconds. Again, a bit of recovery time before we move on to the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise we've got now is a single leg squat. So as you can see, I'm positioned kind of just to the side of a chair. Doesn't really matter which side the chair is on of your body. It's just something to give it a little bit of support to make sure we can get a little bit deeper into that single leg squat. So we're going to start off on one foot, placing the other foot either behind you or in front, whichever feels more comfortable. And we're going to slowly lower down into that squat, bringing that knee down as far as we can. Got a bit of a bend in the knee and straighten it out after. So we're not holding the chair, it's just there in case we need a little bit of support, a bit of a wobble. Good. Try and keep that knee over the toe. Good, and after 7 reps, swap over on to the other leg. Again, placing the leg out in front of you and slowly lower down into that single leg squat. Good, nice deep breathing as we lower down. Make sure we're straightening this knee out after we come back up. And nice deep breathing as we work through. Quite a difficult exercise. Good, and after 7 on each side, give the legs a nice little shake, a bit of recovery time. Just take 20 seconds before we move on to our second set. Okay, and moving on to our second set after a little bit of a rest break. Again, make sure we are starting with the same leg we started with for our previous set. So in my case, that is the right hand side. Again, just using this chair for support where needed. So try and come away from the chair a little bit so you're not forcing your weight down over it. Again, bringing the leg either out to the side, behind, wherever it feels most comfortable. Again, lowering that knee, bring the knee down over the toe, and straighten it out again after. Nice deep breathing, really, really slow. Keep it under control, don't rush. Again, we'll do 7 on each side. Good, really, really slow. And then we'll swap legs. Bringing your leg out in front. Again, just using that chair for support, not to hold on to. Good, really, really slow. Slower the better. And one more, nice deep breath. And bring yourself back up. Again, give the legs a nice little shake. And just take 20 seconds, get a drink, get your breath back, let the legs recover before we move into our third and final set. Okay, perfect. Moving on to our third and final set. So again, bringing ourselves over to the back of that chair. Again, not too close with that foot out in front. So maybe turning the foot out a little bit if needs be. Sometimes it makes it a little more comfortable to complete. And again, just lowering down. So we're always keeping that back heel down on the ground. Just letting the knee do the work. Good, again make sure we straighten that leg after and we're taking nice deep breaths as we work through. And one more. Good. And again, repeating on the other leg. Bring one foot out in front. Again, just 1 or 2 things on the chair. Make sure we're not holding on to it. Good. Good, one more, nice deep breath. And straighten that leg out. Okay, again, just give the legs a little bit of a shake. You might feel a bit of an achiness in the quads. So just take a little bit of time to let the legs recover, get a drink, get your breath back before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise will just be a bodyweight lunge. So in terms of setup, we've just got this chair to the side of the lunge, just in case we need to use it for a little bit of assistance as we work through. Sometimes it's a little bit better to use a tiny bit of guidance and do the exercise properly than it is to use it without. So just to start us off, we're going to kind of bring ourselves so we're almost perpendicular to the back of the chair, and we're going to work one side at a time, then swap after each one. So you're going to take a nice comfortable step out in front of you, and then lower that back knee. So kind of as you get to that bottom point, you can use the chair to get you to the bottom, and then spring back to that starting position. So whichever leg leads forward first, swap over. So now it's left foot forward, again, lower that knee down to the ground and come back. So that's 1 rep. I'm going to work through for 8 of these, which is almost 16 in total. Okay, so again, switch over, lower that knee down and back up. Alternating legs every time. Nice deep breath. And we're not using that chair to balance, just as a little bit of support where needed. Nice deep breaths as we're working through the exercise. Hamstring for this, really working that quad as we lower back to the ground and as it accepts the weight for the front knee as well. And as we progress, you'll find you get a little bit more competent. You can use the chair a little bit less as you start to find your feet. A really good exercise for strength and balance, this one, combining the two. And then swap over onto the leg to finish out 8 reps. And then to bring it back into our starting position, give the legs a nice little shake. Keep ourselves moving, have a nice little 20-second break, get yourself a drink, keep yourself moving before we move on to set 2. Okay, so that's our rest break finished. Again, we'll repeat the exact same exercise. So again, find that starting position again. You might find it easier to actually start from the other side. So maybe use it, rather than using your left hand for balance, use the right. Different for each person. So again, start with the feet about knees width apart. And just, again, keeping a mental note of which leg you're leading with to make sure that we're alternating each time. Remember, it's 2 on each side for 1 rep. And we're going to complete 8 reps. Nice deep breaths as we work back up. And then let that deep breath out as we work down into the lunge. Keep getting that back knee nice and close to the ground without touching it. Last ones on each side to finish off our second set. Good, again, bring you back to your starting position. Give legs a nice little bit of a shake, keep yourself moving, walk on the spot, grab yourself a little bit of a drink, and we'll have another 20 seconds rest before our final set. Okay, so that's our final rest break done. Moving on to our final set now. And it's the exact same principle. Again, get your feet positioned nice and comfortable. Make sure you've got the chair where you need it to be. And just lunge forward. See if you can get that knee a little bit closer to the floor. Just for our final set. Really drop that knee as close to the ground as we can. And work back. With this exercise, working the glutes, the quads, and also hamstrings and the calves as well. So a really good exercise for targeting the whole lower limb. Okay, nearly there. Keep pushing. Make sure form stays proper. Maintain that deep breathing as we get to the final reps. So once more on each side. Final one. Nice and slow. And bring back to that starting position. Again, we want to make sure we're moving. Keep our legs a little bit of a shimmy. Walk around the spot. So that brings us to the end of our final set. Again, get a bit of a drink before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so next up we've got a neural flossing or a neural glide, which is where we move the nerves through the channel that they run in. So nerves, similar to muscles, can become stiff and kind of not move as they should, which might give kind of symptoms down the back of the leg that are more kind of nerve related than muscular. So there's something we can do for them, and we're going to lower ourselves on the floor for that. So we're going to lower ourselves down onto our back, get ourselves nice and comfortable. And we're going to let one leg lie nice and flat on the ground and bring the other one up, locking our fingers in behind the knee. So if it's more comfortable, bring the leg up, whichever works best for you. And we're going to pull the knee in towards the chest. And very slowly, just flexing that knee as far as we can. Make sure we keep pulling that knee into the chest. So as we work through, the knee will move away. Make sure we maintain that pressure as we work through. I'm going to repeat this 7 times through the full range on each leg. It's a really good stretch for the hamstrings as well. You should feel a bit of a stretch in the glutes as well as we pull that knee into the chest. Good, and then repeating on the other leg. So this time, this foot flat on the floor, and bring this hip up. Again, straightening that leg out, maintaining that pull of the knee in towards the chest. Remember, just straighten that leg out as far as we can. Again, 7 of these, nice deep breaths as we're working through. And after 7, just lower the legs down onto the ground and bring yourself up into a seated position. Again, just take 20 seconds for the legs to have a little bit of recovery time before we move on to our second set. Okay, perfect. Moving on to our second set. Again, repeating that process on the same side first. So I'm going to bring that right leg for me up towards the chest, pulling that knee in towards the chest, and then slowly flexing and extending the knee as far as we can. What we're doing here is we're pulling that nerve along the channel it lies in. You can actually have kind of stiffness within the nerves. The nervous system itself needs to move freely. Again, after 7, swap over onto the other leg. And take that nice deep breathing as we work through these, really nice and slow, don't rush. And one more. Good, and lower that leg down onto the ground. And again, bring yourself back up into the seated position. Again, just taking 20 seconds before we move on to our final set. Okay, so moving on to our third and final set. Again, repeating that same process. So remember which side you started with. Get yourself nice and comfortable and bring that leg up towards the chest. Again, lock them fingers behind that knee and pull that knee towards the chest. Again, slowly extending that knee as far as we can. Can we maybe extend a little bit further than the couple two we did before? Again, nice deep breathing, really push that stretch this time. Good, really slow. Good, last one. And lower back down into the ground. Again, on the other side. Nice deep breathing. Really pull that heel away from the back of the knee. Again, don't let the knee fall down, keep pulling it in towards the chest. Good, last one. Good stuff, and lower them legs down nice and slowly into the ground. Slowly bring yourself up into a seat position and then back onto your feet. Okay, perfect, good stuff. Again, just take a little bit of time, 20 seconds for recovery before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise is a very quick muscular contraction, looking to work maybe a different kind of muscle twitch fibers. So we've got more of a fast twitch rather than a slow twitch that we're working here. So they both kind of move the muscle, but in different kinds of ways. So obviously the fast twitch works for more powerful, quick contractions, which is something we're going to be working here. So we're going to start off laid on our front, and we're just going to take turns, alternating legs for these. And all we're going to do, facing forwards, we're going to quickly flex the knee and slowly lower that back down to the ground. Okay, and then the opposite side, flex and lower back down. Really quick contraction on the way up and nice and slow on the way down. So that really quick concentric shortening of the hamstrings, a real slow lengthening for that eccentric phase. Good. Make sure we're taking nice deep breaths while we're working through these. Again, that downwards phase as slow as we can. Keep counting your head, working up towards 8 on each side. And one more on each side, nice deep breath still. Make sure keeping that really quick and really slow, big comparison. Okay, perfect, and just let the body lie flat, relax the legs. Take 20 seconds let the muscles recover, stay in this position before moving to our second set. Okay, perfect. So moving on to our second set, again repeating the exact same movement as before. That real quick bending of the knee and that real slow straightening to follow. So again, starting on the right hand side and lowering down, followed by the opposite side. Nice deep breathing while we're working through. Again, make sure we're keeping that speed throughout. Almost as slow as you can for the way back down to control that contraction. Go one more on that side, slowly lower down. Good. Again, just take 20 seconds, have a bit of a breather, have a drink, stay in this position before moving to our third and final set. Okay, and moving on to our third and final set. Again, repeating that movement, that nice quick flexion and that very slow extension to follow. Okay, make sure we're keeping that speed the same throughout. Don't let that quick speed drop, and don't rush the way back down. It's also a really good exercise for the quads as well. So the quads and the hamstrings working in opposing partnership. So one's working, the one's relaxing. So concentric in the hamstring while an eccentric occurs in the quads and vice versa. So as we straighten this knee out, the quads actually performing that movement, while the hamstring lengthens and controls as well. Good stuff. Again, working to 8 on each side. Good. Nice deep breaths. Good. Nice short movement for our last one. Good stuff. And slowly bring yourself back up onto your feet. Okay, good stuff. Give it a nice little shake. Again, just take 20 seconds for a little bit of recovery time before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise works on force production throughout the whole limb. So obviously we've been working one leg at a time here with our single leg hopping. So again, it's really good for, right from the ankle and the foot all the way up to the hip as well. Has really control. It's also accepting that load as well as we land back down on the ground. So alternating legs, one leg at a time, just as high as you feel comfortable, as much as you can. So bring yourself up onto one leg. So again, you've already got that balance element, that proprioception that we're working on. I'm just gonna hop and land. Okay. Try and stick the landing. You can drop back down to the leg if needs be. Just a very little hop. So again, if you can stay on this leg, let's try and do that. Again, brings in a bit more of a balance element. Nice deep breathing. Good stuff. We do 7 on each side before we move into a rest break. Okay, so that's 7. Repeat the same process on the other leg. Okay, so a little hop and a land. Good. Nice deep breaths. So we're producing that force to get us up off the floor. And then as we land, there's an equal force applied back from the ground into the leg with the teaching instructors to absorb force. Really handle that load that comes up through the body. Good. One more. Good. Again, so give the legs a nice little shake. Once you've done 7 on each side, take 20 seconds, get your breath back, get a drink before we move into our second set. Perfect. Again, moving on again to our second set. So starting with the leg that we started with last time. So for me, that's my right. Again, just lift this left one up off the floor to get that balance through the right leg, and just produce a little bit of force just to get us up off the ground. Again, try and stick the landing on that foot where we can. Again, 7 on each side. Good. Nice deep breath. Really focus on one point to help with that balance. Good. And after 7, swap over onto that other side. Again, bringing that leg up off the floor. Okay. When we're ready. Good, hopefully you can feel it right the way from the calf up into the glutes. So whole leg's working to stabilise. Again, doesn't have to be a massive hop. Doesn't even have to leave the floor if you just want to get a bit of a pop up. Good, last one. Good, again, give the legs a nice little shake. And just take 20 seconds, get your breath back, get a drink. Let the legs recover before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so next up we've got a stretch that is looking to target the adductors. So I'm going to start out bringing yourself down onto the floor. So we're going to bring one, so make sure we've got enough room either side of us on the mat. We're just going to bring that leg up and out and nice and straight down by the side of us. Almost pulling this knee down into the ground. Again, really pushing that knee inwards and nice deep breaths. I'm going to hold this position for 20 seconds, pulling this knee down, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Hold that there, keep us upright. Maybe lean over this way if needs be, if you can't really feel it in the groin enough. Good stuff. And after 20, just bring that knee slowly back into the body, shuffle over, and bring this leg up and out to the side for the other groin. Again, make sure we're pulling this knee down and into the ground while taking some nice deep breaths. Okay? Again, 20 seconds starting in 3, 2, and 1. Keep pulling his knee down and let it ease off. Okay, again, after 20 seconds, bring that knee back in. Just give the hips a nice little bit of a move. Bring yourself back to your feet. Again, shake them legs off. Just take 20 seconds, give yourself a bit of a time to recover. Get a drink before we move on to our second set. Okay, so when we're ready, again, lowering down back onto our knees. Again, nice and slowly, don't drop onto your knees. And again, same leg that we started with, up and out to the side. Again, make sure his legs nice and straight, and we're pulling this knee down and into the ground, okay? So again, 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Again, nice upright position and deep breathing throughout. Good stuff. And as we reach 20 seconds, bring that leg back in and up and out to the side. Again, nice straight leg and hold that position there. Nice deep breaths. Driving this knee down into the ground. Good, and after 20 seconds, again, just bring that leg back into the body and bring yourself back up onto your feet. Again, just give the hips a nice little move around before we move into our final set. If you need it, just take 20 seconds, let the muscles recover, give your legs a bit of a shake before we move on to our final set. Okay, so bring ourselves back down again onto our knees. And again, just extend that leg out to the side, nice and straight. Again, pulling this knee down into the ground. Lean over to the side, away from the leg a little bit. And hold that for 20 seconds again, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Almost like someone's kind of pushing in on the knee there. Make sure you can feel that stretch through the groin. Nice deep breathing. And again, after 20 seconds, we're just going to move across onto the other side again. And again, 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. And we keep driving this knee down. Good stuff. Again, after 20 seconds, bring both knees back in, and when you're ready, bring yourself back up onto your feet. Again, give it a nice little shake off. Nice deep breath. And that brings us towards the end of the exercise, and it brings us to the end of the class as well. Thank you very much for completing this. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay behind. We will move on to a cool down now. Hope you enjoy that. Thank you. Okay, so the same way we prepare the body to warm up for exercise, we have to prepare the body to cool down in the same way. So we just to start off with that, we pop our hands on our hips, and nice big circles, working around as far as we can. So looking to lower that heart rate back down to a resting level and keep the fluids transporting around the body to the tissues that we've worked. Nice deep breathing throughout. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, and then change direction, the exact same thing. Try and use your hands just to guide your hips a little bit further. Really progress that stretch if you want to. Good stuff. Keep working. Twice more round, and I'll move on to our next stretch. Okay, so starting off, hands on front of the legs. I'm just going to reach down to touch our toes, nice and slowly, and coming back up. Ensure we're going down as slowly as we're coming back up. Again, maintain deep breathing as we're working down to the toes and back up to our start position. Keep them knees nice and straight, don't let the knees bend as we work down. Okay, and then bring the hands up and behind the head. Again, nice deep breathing while we're working through all of these movements. So really open that chest up, nice deep breaths, and we're just going to work. Bring the hips out and the shoulders over to the other side. And the other way. And rotate to look each way. Again, just hold it at the end of the stretch and work around the opposite side. And forwards. Again, keeping them knees nice and straight. Keep the back in line. And back up. Nice deep breaths as we're working down. Nice deep breaths in as we come back up. And the same thing, leaning backwards. Okay, then just moving on to a very steady, just walking on the spot. Again, looking to keep them structures working. Looking to engage that skeletal muscle pump. So every time your muscle contracts, it pumps that blood flow back around the body. Similar to where the heart does, but rather up in the heart, right down near the structures that we've worked. So again, just nice and slow. Keep your breathing nice and deep. Very gentle. I'm just going to move it around the mat, just side to side. Again, just engages different muscle groups ever so slightly. Okay, then just to finish off our cool down, some really nice deep breathing. Again, the nice deep breath really helps to lower that heart rate back to its resting level. So hands on hips or behind your back, wherever feels comfortable. Really get that chest out. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just keep repeating that. And that'll bring us to the end of our cool down. Thank you very much.